Hey, this is Peter from Alberta Cross, and you're watching Toasted.
Hey, welcome to Amsterdam.
Thanks for having me. It's good to be here.
Heard a nice session you just played.
Yeah, jamming out, It's good to play music when you're out traveling.
It's also great to hear the music stripped down in a form like that. I mean, I always say like there's a lot of production on your album, and if you strip down a song, it comes back to basics, and then the song still has to stand up. So it's really cool, especially to hear it's you that's changing in a really simple format.
Yeah, I mean that's how it was all written, It just came from either a guitar or a piano and some melody ideas, and on this record in particular, like I really wanted to make sure that I can play it more like by myself, kind of, and build them from there for whatever you add. And then I got a little bit carried away with instrumentation.
Because I mean, how do you, of course you have to explain this. I mean, you've been making music, you've been playing in this band since 2000 almost now, right? It's like, well, for a long time actually.
2006.
Well, before that, of course, you
I
were.
played music my whole life, yeah. I played music forever, yeah.
And but there were a lot of band changes, a lot of member changes, and now it's basically so it's you now, the band, right?
By myself and lonesome.
Was it always you actually?
I mean, I always wrote all the songs, and it was, I started a band with Terry, and I wrote the songs, and I kind of brought him in, and we worked on them together, so, like, produced them together, and he was really good. He's had a lot of great ideas, and very good, like, reproduction stuff, and just, in general, like, very creative guy, So that was cool, like, I would write a song and bring it in, and we would, shoot ideas, and stuff like that. And now when he's not around, like, I'm doing it myself, but it's been like, I'm that place now that where I've done it so much, so I kind of know what I want, and it's almost easier being by myself at this point. So
Was it tough to write this album and produce it? Because it sounds like a lot of work.
yeah, I mean, it wasn't super tough. I think it felt pretty chill because, I wrote all the songs and I produced them myself, which means that there's not too many people with like inputs, which is almost makes it easier, And I produced it with my friend Claudio, so he had some really good inputs and stuff like that, and I had great musicians playing on it. My drummer and keyboard player were like very important parts of this record as well. So they had a really good ideas too, but yeah, I don't think it was quite a nice experience really. We recorded it up in a church in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, and up in like a place called Dreamland. There's a music studio that I moved into a church, in the middle of the forest up in Woodstock or Kingston almost. So that added a lot too, which made a really good vibe.
How did you find the studio?
I heard about it through a friend that told me, like, because I was looking for a place with that kind of vibe, like just get out of town. Just a place to kind of. It's a good place to focus, and obviously the room is pretty huge, and it's like all wooden, so it captured the sound really, really amazingly. And
Cool.
yeah,
A wooden church.
very old wooden church. Yeah, so we just went up there with a bunch of. It's not a church anymore. Well, I guess it's a church, but it's not really. They don't have any like Sunday sessions in there.
No masses.
No masses. But like, yeah, so we just brought a bunch of wine and beers and cooked some food, and then worked really long hours and recorded a lot of it live.
Wow.
Yeah.
It doesn't sound live at all. I mean,
Yeah.
I think the production is done really well. Many layers. I love the horns on your album. Who did that, by the way?
So the basics of the record is like recorded live. We went up, four of us went up there. So it's like keys, guitar, bass, and drums. So all of that and some other stuff. Like It's You Just Changing was tracked completely live. Like everything that's on there is live.
No way.
Yeah,
Wow.
pretty much. So, well, I added some backing vocals afterwards. So it's all my vocals, but like everything except the backing vocals is live. And a lot of the other ones had like the basic, all the other ones were recorded live. The bass drums and keys and guitars. And then I brought it to Midtown. And I had a bunch of good friends that added on the record, like pedal steel and horns and mandolin and stuff like that.
Beautiful. Hey, I was listening to your music this week, and what I do is I put it on Spotify, and Spotify plays everything.
Right.
And it gave me a really nice insight in the history of your music because there are really old songs on there, and of course, new songs are on there as well. And for me, it's nice to hear how your music changed or developed over the years. And that made me think, do you listen to your own music? Do you still listen to the old stuff, do you?
Mm. Yeah, I mean, you kind of have to sometimes. I do sometimes. Like, I try not to too much because I listen to the songs. Obviously, like the new record. Like I've heard the songs like 4 million times. You know what I mean? Because I'm working on them all the time, doing the recording. So I don't. And after that, so like after you're done with the record, you just can't hear it forever. And then after a little second, you can go back to. So sometimes I go back and listen to certain things from old records I've done just to like hear the overall vibe. I might not even listen to the whole song. I might just like play half the song and just like feel out the vibe and how what it was, because you can forget sometimes. Uh, but I'm always like looking ahead, you know. Like I'm always like 5 step ahead, because you have to be. I feel like as soon as you, I'm always writing songs for the new record before I'm even done with it, the old one. You know what I mean? I'm just like now I'm dreaming of how I should record and the new record and what it should be about and all that kind of stuff. So that's like my new target.
Hey, it must have been. I mean, it sounds, of course, fantastic to be a musician and record in an old church and tour the world and play everywhere. But there must have been some tough times as well, right?
I think there's a lot of tough times. You know, it's not super easy to be a musician these days. You know, it's like, you know, for everyone to get by and stuff like that, it's a little harder because you don't make that as much. You know, you don't make what you used to. But yeah, you know, I grew up dreaming about playing and touring around the world, and that's what I'm doing. So that's like a blessing, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm very happy that I could do that. So the good times beats the bad, I should say. But yeah, I mean, you know. But I'm also like the bad times will inspire you to write stuff. You know, it's a complete cliche, but every time you're feeling lower, crap is happening. Like good music seems to come out of it, and it's always been the same. You know, so.
Can you name any songs on the new album that actually were inspired by shitty situations?
A lot of them probably. Yeah, like Get Up High came from a bad place, you know. It's pretty straightforward, the chorus, but just about like beating yourself up, like, you know, the good with the bad.
You lived in London. You moved to New York. I always say to people, if they live in London and they ask me why don't you want to live here, I was like, well, you know what? In London, the same with New York, basically. I could only live there if I have a shitload of money and something really good to do. Because even if I have a lot of money and I don't have anything good to do, I will be going crazy in a city like that. Exactly. So how do you pull it off?
Gosh knows, man. I don't know if I do. I don't know if I do. I can't. The problem I have is I can't see myself anywhere else, and I'm always like going to places like, you know, like now I've been back in Europe, like traveling around. You know, it's like came from Berlin and I'm in Amsterdam, and it's such a beautiful. Paris, I was in Paris before that, and London I was in before that too. But I you know, I've done that. I was in London for like 8, 9 years or whatever it was.
How was it to be back in London?
You know, memory lane.
It's beautiful as well to be
It's
back there.
it's beautiful. I got some great friends there, and it's, you know, it's great. But I feel like I always love to come back. It's great to play shows there. You know, it's good people, and so I always have a good time in that sense. But I feel like I can't live there anymore. I could never live there. But if I come, you know, I was in Paris and then Berlin and here, just a beautiful vibe. And Terry, my old bandmate, said he's thinking about moving to actually Amsterdam. But it's more relaxing, and you know, I'm European, so that's one thing I can miss a lot when I'm in Brooklyn. But yeah, having said that, like it's hard to see myself anywhere else. And Brooklyn and New York, Manhattan, like, and everything is like giving me a lot. And I got, you know, very good group of friends around me, and so that's what keeps me there. It's like the music and you know, friends and just the inspiration really, and it seemed to like inspire never ending inspiration.